All right, thank you so much and good afternoon. It is our program on television, African Discourse, on Monday, and of course, nice to be with you here again. My name is Evan Sunokugi. Well, today on the program, Africa Discourse, we're going to be following what happened on a Friday. That's about 3 days ago in Washington, D.C. That's all the way in United States of America, whereby a peace was brokered, settled now between the DRC, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and of course Rwanda. Well, it's been conflicts for some time and for some, years you may want to say. And you understand that that conflict has, tore the DRC into tatters. And it's been something that world leaders have tried several times to see how they can actually broker peace between Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of Congo. But only Friday, we understand that as put together, at the instance of the Secretary of the United States of America, Rubio now, by his name, Secretary of State now, putting the two warring nations together and ensuring that there is peace in that nation. But the big question, or the bigger question that analysts are asking, is that this is not the first time that we're experiencing this kind of development. And analysts are suspecting that this is probably, a repetition of what may have happened before. I mean, Rwanda and the DRC coming together to reach for a ceasefire, a peace, and all those attempts have failed. So analysts are of the opinion that this new idea of reaching peace between these two nations now is not going to hold water, if you like, is of nothing to go by. Because for Sam, there's no way you can actually reach peace without justice. I mean, if you say that, okay, the two warring nations should ceasefire, now what happens to the victims of the war, the victims of the conflict, most especially victims in the DRC, whereby we understand that vast majority of their, farmlands, homes have been taken over. And as we speak now, a lot of Congolese, are displaced even in their country. So all these are the several talks that have been, meeting at this latest development in Washington, D.C. on Friday. Well, before we quickly, let me just quickly introduce our guest, then I will have to launch a video that we made so as to form a basis for our discussion this afternoon. Well, to discuss what we're going to be looking at today, we are so privileged to have the erudite international conflict resolution expert, Nwita Igbotako. He's joining us this afternoon all the way from University of Delta, Agbo. Nwita Igbotako, a very good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, my brother.
Okay.
It's good to be here.
All right, thank you so much. And we also
thank you for having me.
Okay. And we're also expecting Ehigato Samuel when he comes on board via Zoom. We're also going to be expecting also Lukman Akemukwe, who is also going to be joining us virtually from Okbila in Edo State here. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, for the next few minutes now, you're going to sit back so that you enjoy the discussion as we get along. Well, let's quickly see this video so that we'll form the basis for this discussion this afternoon.
Secretary Marco Rubio is about to sign a peace agreement. It's a signing ceremony between on the DRC. We've just been discussing that. Let's have a listen.
Armed group. In addition, I would like to acknowledge that the work done under the auspices of the African Union was critical for reaching this agreement. We look forward to coordinating with the AU chairperson and Togolese president, who is serving as the AU facilitator to ensure implementation of the agreement. Finally, I would like to recognize the team here at the Department of State who facilitated the discussions and helped guide both sides towards this agreement. I will now turn to Secretary Rubio for opening remarks.
Thank you, and I'm honored all of you are here today. I'm honored to be joined by my counterparts from the Democratic Republic of Congo and from Rwanda, and the hard work you both put in to make this happen. This was not easy. And there's still work to be done, obviously, in terms of implementation, but we're very honored you're both here, and it's been an honor to work with both of you. We have a lot of people to thank. Obviously, the great team here at the Department of State who did a great job, Mr. Boulos, who did a phenomenal job. He's been on the job now about 10 weeks, and he's jumped all over this and really worked it hard, and we did a great job, and we are grateful to you for all of your work. Obviously, this could not have happened without such close friends and partners in the African Union and in Qatar, who we're working a lot lately with Qatar. We're doing a lot of things with you guys, and you've been very instrumental in the African Union. Without you, this couldn't have happened. I mean, you may put everybody together. I do want to recognize what I say, former colleagues. It wasn't 6 months ago, I was still a senator, but they're here now, Senators Rounds and Risch. Senator Risch is the chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee and a very close friend of mine, and he's obviously watched this issue very closely. He's made it a priority. And Senator Rounds, who's been talking to me about this before I was even nominated to the position and even during the nomination process. And we have others who are not able to make it today that I also want to recognize, Senator Coons and Booker. There's been a lot of interest in this, and we're grateful to all of them. They were invited, but I guess, you know, there's stuff going on in the Senate, as you know. And but we're grateful that both of you are here, and it's instrumental. This is, you know, an important moment after 30 years of war. President Trump is a president of peace. He really does want peace. He prioritizes it above all else. We saw his intervention in the conflict between India and Pakistan. We saw his intervention most recently is a few days ago in a very dangerous war, right? A very dangerous war that could have really spiraled out of control, and his intervention made that possible. And there are other places that we want to see this, but we're very excited about this, and we can't wait to have the heads of state, the presidents of the respective countries here in Washington in a few weeks to finalize the complete protocol and agreement, but today is an important step in that direction, and we're grateful to be able to host it here at the Department of State. And just thinking, you know, we think sometimes about peace. It's not just about ending wars. It's about, and it's not just about saving lives. It's about allowing people to live. It's about allowing people to now have dreams and hopes for a better life, for prosperity, for economic opportunity, for a family reunification, for all the things that make life worth living. Those things become impossible when there's war and when there's conflict. So we're grateful to have played the role we've played. We acknowledge and recognize there's still more work to be done. But we thank you all very much for being a part of this historic and important day. This is really why I wanted this job, or why I embraced this job so much, is moments like this. This is, in essence, the Department of State is really the Department of Peace. It's designed to bring people together, both in our relations with other countries, but to the extent we can use the stature and the influence of the United States to bring others together. It makes the world a better place. And I honestly believe that when there's peace in the world among friends who may have disagreements and conflict, it does help America. It does help make America stronger and safer and more prosperous. It gives us partners we can do business with. And partners that we can work with to address insecurity and threats to our national security and to our collective national security. So we are grateful to both of you. I know how hard this was and how much work went into it, and we know there's more work to be done. And but we are grateful to have you here today. We're honored to be a part of this. We're excited to be a part of it. And again, I do want to thank everyone here in our Africa Bureau and at the Department of State. And once again, our superstar there, Mr. Boulos. What do you want to do next after you're done with this? Sudan. Yeah, very important. Actually, very, very important. And you're very involved in that as well. So what are you guys doing this week in Qatar? You guys want to work with we are grateful to all of you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. I now turn to the Foreign Minister of Rwanda for remarks.
Thank you. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Minister Therese Kaipamba-Wagner, the Chairperson of the African Union Commission, Mahmoud Yusuf, Minister of State Mohamed Ali Koulaifi of Qatar, my colleague, Minister of Foreign Affairs of Togo, Robert Dussé, senators, dear colleagues, good afternoon. Let me begin by expressing our sincere appreciation to President Donald Trump for his personal engagement in facilitating this historic agreement. We also extend our gratitude to the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, Special Advisor Masad Boulos, and the entire State Department team. Your dedication has been indispensable. This agreement is the product of months of coordinated efforts by multiple actors. It is very important to note that the state of Qatar has played an absolutely central role. Indeed, the opening which led to today's agreement, began in Doha. We will lend our full support in the weeks ahead to Qatar's mediation efforts, led by Minister of State Mohammed Al-Khulaifi, to secure a peace agreement between the DRC government and the AFC M23. This process is already well underway. Today's agreement also builds on the African-led peace initiatives, which are ably led by the African Union facilitator, President Faure Gnassingbé of Togo. The heart of this peace agreement is the decision to establish a standing joint security coordination mechanism between DRC and Rwanda. The first order of business is to begin implementing of the concept of operations for the...
All right, I think we'll just post that video there. I mean, that has given you the introduction and, of course, for you to understand what we're going to be talking about today. Talking about the peace accord, the peace that has been brokered between the DRC and, of course, the Rwanda, and Rwanda. And that was what happened on Friday in Washington, D.C., in the United States of America. You saw the two representatives, the two foreign ministers of Rwanda by name. We have Foreign Minister Teresa K. Kwamba Wagner, that's of the DRC. And of course, we also saw the Foreign Minister of Rwanda, Olivia Nduhungirehe, who is also there. And in between, was the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State of the United States of America, mediating between the two countries to broker the peace. All right, so Nowita Ibutako, you are an international conflict resolution expert. I mean, this is, your duty now. So let us follow this development nitty-gritty, because a lot of persons are not too comfortable. Perhaps, judging from the fact that this is not the first time that we are probably seeing this initiative. I mean, trying to broker peace between Rwanda and the DRC. Now, we are talking about a situation whereby we are calling for peace, but without justice. A lot of victims, as it stands today, are still victims in the DRC, victims of the war that has raged for over 30 years. So what is the guarantee that this peace that has been brokered now will come to stay?
Well, thank you once again for having me. The guarantee for this peace to come to stay is a bit cloudy. When I say cloudy, I'm saying because of what we have had, on the continent of Africa, talking about peace, mediation, peace building, trying to curb conflict on the continent. First of all, I want to appreciate all the actors that have put this together. United States, the African Union, the government in Doha, Qatar, and all wonderful peace ambassadors, in both ends, in DRC and in Rwanda. For me, the agreement started in Washington. It's a very fantastic development. Fantastic development. But my fear, just as you have expressed, is how feasible, can justice flow down to the people who have had over 30 years of ruination, economic ruination, physical ruination, political ruination. These are people whose lifestyle have been shattered because of war laws, because of some few individuals want to grab the resources in both ends. Because looking at this issue, what is the real bone of contention between the warring factions? Is the bottomless pit of minerals that we have in the Democratic Republic of Congo. You will agree with me that the Democratic Republic of Congo is endowed. Name it. There's no mineral deposit that you don't find in that country. It's one of the largest reservoirs of rare minerals, earth minerals, in the Democratic Republic of Congo. And we all know why the conflict has been on. And the Western interests have been there. The African interests have been there. And what I see is sincerity of purpose. how insincere are the peace brokers? How sincere are those who are involved in the nitty-gritty, talking of the Democratic Republic of Congo and the rebel group, the FS-23? How sincere are they? Because we have cases on the African continent where you have peace agreement, at the end of the day, the tunnel will not go down, there will be no justice. My fear is sincerity of purpose. I'm talking of sincerity of purpose, but we have many cases whereby peace have been brokered and you don't get justice.
All right.
And from...
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, now when we're talking about sincerity of purpose now, I think you are trying to make reference to the involvement, the engagement of the United States of America. Rwanda has been in the eye of the storm. Lots of accusations and counter-accusations against the Rwanda. And for a conflict that has spanned over 30 years, we understand that series of internally displaced persons in the DRC as a result of the conflict that has been on. And some accusation has been that this conflict has only been on one side, that's the eastern part of the DRC, while some other accusations has been that the conflict has spread, almost to the entirety of the DRC. But thank God that with the latest development on Friday now, we understand that peace has been brokered. But the big question that people are asking, analysts are asking, is to what extent with this peace state? Because it is not actually the first time that we're having a kind of initiation, an initiative like this. Remember sometime last year whereby the United Nations had to, try to tell Republic of Congo that, hey, they have to put a stop with the way that they be fueling the M23 to, kind of give an onslaught in the DRC. So all these are things that people have been talking about as far as the conflict is concerned. And one other thing that people have also said that now people have praised the DRC president in the person of Felix Tshisekedi now, because sometime in February this year, that was immediately after the US president was sworn in, Donald Trump. We understand that Felix Tshisekedi of the DRC actually was calling on Donald Trump to see how the United States of America can expedite action to see how the conflict between the DRC and Rwanda can be brought to a standstill. So as we speak now, that is coming to bear. But still against, in the lips of doubting Thomases, that this is not going to end the conflict. Because for them, there's no way you can actually end a conflict without putting respite to the issues. I mean, justice, beckons. A lot of people are aggrieved. A lot of Congolese are aggrieved. So not only you met them with justice, so there's no way we can actually find it. So in all this, we are trying to look at the whole issue. Now, if we have Nowita Igbutako, I want you to respond to the point we're looking at earlier on, trying to look at the sincerity of purpose on the part of the United States of America. Nowita Igbutako. All right, so let's see the video one more time. We'll just see the video. This is the foreign minister now of Rwanda, talking about Theresa Kewa Kwamba Wagner, who is on your right-hand side of your screen, and also the foreign minister of the DRC, yes, by name, Olivia Onjo-Hongrehe, who is on the left hand of your screen. So they are talking to the issues, and the middle is the Secretary of State of the United States of America, Marco Rubio, who his stance is this meeting called upon. So all this happened yesterday, on Friday at Washington, D.C., and we understand that this whole peace talk actually began in Doha, that's in Qatar, sometime some few months ago, whereby some other world leaders have been, praised for their effort that they have made in ensuring that all this will come to bear. All right, so let's hear what the Foreign Minister of Rwanda, is saying right now.
Good afternoon to the Lord of the Nation. 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 Good afternoon mechanism to ensure compliance. These are not just words on paper. They must now be translated into action with justice, accountability, and political will. This peace agreement is the starting point, not the end goal. It must now be followed by disengagement, justice, and the return of displaced families, and the return of refugees, both to the DRC and Rwanda. However, no text, however carefully negotiated, can carry on its own the weight of peace. I still remember, on the day we signed the Declaration of Principles, a member of the US team said, "If it were easy, it would have been done a long time ago." That holds true now more than ever. What we have signed is only as strong as our will to implement it. We, the DRC, will certainly and resolutely fight for this agreement to be respected, not with our words, but with our deeds. Today, we have chosen peace. What matters now is that we protect it and prove to our people and to the world that even in a region marked by deep scars, dignity and cooperation can prevail. So now, our work truly begins. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Minister. It's now my honor to invite the parties to sign the peace agreement to be witnessed by Secretary Rubio. The agreement being signed includes provisions on the respect for territorial integrity and the prohibition of hostilities, the disengagement, disarmament, and conditional integration of non-state armed groups, the establishment of a joint security coordination mechanism, the facilitation of the return of refugees and internally displaced persons, as well as humanitarian access, the reaffirmation of MONUSCO's mandate, and the establishment of a regional economic integration framework. The agreement also includes an annex on the functioning of the joint security coordination mechanism and the full text of the concept of operations of the harmonized plan for the neutralization of the FDLR and disengagement of forces / lifting of defensive measures by Rwanda, which was agreed to under the auspices of the Luanda process on October 31st, 2024, and adopted by the foreign ministers on November 25, 2024. With the parties' signatures today, the agreement immediately enters into force. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Well, you just saw the last lap of the program today, African Discourse, talking about the signing of the peace pact between the DRC and, of course, the Rwandan government there. So I think that formally brings to an end the conflict between the DRC and Rwanda. So we are going to be following maybe in other subsequent editions of this program, so that we'll begin to see how this peace accord, how this peace pact is going to have effect on the situation in the crisis in the DRC. Well, we want to sincerely apologize that we couldn't continue with our guest today because of some issues right here. But hopefully same time next week we should be able to bring you another guest so that we can analyze the issues more. All right, so that's the program today, African Discourse. My name is Evans Tunokugi. On to same time next week. Goodbye and God bless you.